there. We're going to kick this off with the recognition of students entering the military. From birth, we are From birth, we are genetically known to fear what we don't know, what we don't understand, and what we can't see. Yet a select few of us choose to build careers that venture into that, to protect and serve those who cannot protect themselves. Already you have gone through experiences most would shy away from. Military entrance processing stations, physical testing, mental testing, aptitude testing, and so much more. But you have persevered, you have enlisted. I personally am moved to have the honor and the position to respect and acknowledge those from Concord High joining the service and becoming heroes themselves. My friend Neil Shea will read the list of names of those attending. When you hear your name in branch, I invite you to rise.
All right, so as I list the names, like you said, please stand to be recognized. So, Lorelei Ford, Air Force. Aiden Gleason, Navy. Jacob Keneally, U.S. Marine Corps. Carson LeBlanc, Navy. Jocelyn Lemieux, Army National Guard. Ryan Olivero, United States Marine Corps. Madison Tobin, U.S. Army Reserves. And Shannon Tyrell, Air Force. Congratulations to you all, and thank you for your service.
Good morning, everyone. What a wonderful day this is, and it's so nice. So nice to see all of you in the same place at the same time without masks. And a happy and joyful Juneteenth to all Americans. Let me first start by offering my congratulations to each member of the Concord High School class of 2021, and of course to your families, who over the past roughly 18 years, I'm sure some rougher than others, have nurtured, guided, and loved you. A shout out too to our dramatic arts director, Clint Close, for once again coordinating our sound for graduation, to our architecture teacher, George Golden, for reprising and upgrading the layout for today's ceremony, and to guidance counselor Jonathan Flower, who has undertaken the daunting task of correctly pronouncing the names of 357 graduates. Now, if he makes any mistakes, just let me know and I will see that he's properly disciplined. Thank you also to the CH Band and Chorus under the leadership of Gabe Cohen, Bryn Coet, and Tony Varga. To Josh Hardy and his CTV crew for again broadcasting the ceremony. To the small legion of volunteers who will put this thing together today. Certainly to our custodial crew who were here late last night putting this all together. Karen Baxter and Dawn Hodges as well. I think that's everybody I was supposed to thank. Wait a minute. I think there might be one more person I'm supposed to recognize. So I think everyone here today understands that Lisa Lamb is just an extraordinary resource to the school district. Let me put it this way. If there's no Lisa, there's no prom. No Lisa, no graduation. It's as simple as that. The seniors already know this, and many others in our community do as well. The level of Lisa's commitment and attention to 1,000 details involved in these complex events is truly awe-inspiring. It's kind of like watching General Eisenhower before the D-Day invasion. So would you all please rise and recognize Lisa Lamb for what she's done for us. As long as you guys are sitting here, I'd like to thank some of you as well. To those of you who have excelled in the classroom over the past few years, thank you for authentically possessing a quality whose name gets thrown about with abandon these days, excellence. To those of you who have not so simply shown up each day, completed your work and conducted yourselves with dignity and decorum, thank you for making our community here at Concord High School work. You are and will continue to be the backbone of our society. To those of you who have learned from your mistakes, a group of which I am a charter member, thank you for reaffirming our belief in a fundamentally American premise: things get better. To those of you who have served as leaders, thank you for your courage. To those of you who will be serving in our armed forces, thank you for your commitment towards keeping our nation safe and strong. To those of you who have helped others, either through our several service organizations or just because helping is part of who you are, thank you for practicing arguably the most important quality imaginable: compassion and caring for others. To those of you who have become Americans over the past few years, thank you for making our society and our community here at Concord High School richer and stronger. To those of you who have represented our school on the playing field, the stage, and in our many clubs and organizations, thank you for your intensity, talent, and commitment, qualities that will serve to better all our lives and help our society thrive in the future. To those of you who have matured, changed, and basically gotten your acts together over the past few years, a special thank you for your growth is the best gift any teacher, parent, or community could receive. And certainly to those of you who are sitting here today by the skin of your teeth, thank you for the accuracy of your calculations. So here's a burning question for you guys. Why do roads and highways have lines painted down their center? Fascinating question, right? Let me cut through the suspense. Roadways have lines because no matter how straight the road, regardless of how alert our driving demeanor, we inevitably drift. We, in a manner of speaking, lose our way. Those highways with their white lines are the oldest metaphor going. Whether they suggest our goals or our families' or society's expectations, or laws, or religion, or professional accomplishment, they keep us focused and moving forward on our personal and professional paths. But without those lines, and whatever they might represent to any one of us, we again tend to drift and lose our way. The bare fact is that we are, all of us, at different times in our lives, sometimes at many points in our lives, lost. We drift. This is not a condition that's easy to acknowledge, because being lost, by which I mean not knowing instinctively how to make our way in the world, not understanding really how the world works, not being sure what is truly important, is frankly more than a little scary. The Germans even invented a word, perhaps symbolically enough, your final high school vocabulary word, Angst, to describe a kind of free-floating anxiety, the feeling we've all experienced of having a knot in our stomachs, feeling ill at ease and unsettled, but not really being able to pinpoint a specific reason why we're feeling that way. That sensation of angst, I would suggest, is a manifestation of feeling lost in the world. As human beings, we are conscious of and reflective about our own experience. We are beset by questions which can be said to lead to, into, or feed off our sensation of being lost. What am I doing with my life? What am I supposed to do with my life? On what basis can I make decisions about such imposing questions? What are all the possibilities for my life, and how do I find out about them? What type of person do I need to be in terms of education, character, and values to access those ways of life? What are my family's expectations? What are my friends doing with their lives? And am I meant to measure my life against theirs? How simply stated am I supposed to be? And in order to answer any of those questions, don't I need to know who exactly I am? Who am I really? What do I believe in? What motivates me? What's important to me? What will make me happy? You'd think by this point in human evolution we'd have some of this stuff figured out, but as we all know, we don't. But we keep trying. Much of human civilization, its laws and religions, its modes and systems of education, its art forms, the teachings of science and philosophy may well be understood as an attempt to interpret, share, and make sense of our collective feeling of being lost. Even our traditions and folkways, like for example this morning's graduation, are founded in an overarching desire to discover meaning in our lives, to say this experience has significance and helps to define who I am, and in so doing, to counter just a little bit our lostness and isolation in the face of the world's vast complexity and indifference. The question, graduates, isn't where you're going to be in the fall, it's how you're going to be. Whether you're working for Amazon or at Yale, starting your own business or on Wall Street, whether metaphorically you're on an interstate or a country road, with or without lines down at center, you, like the rest of us, will at some point drift. At some point, you'll feel lost. That's an inevitable part of the human experience. Plato, who was Aristotle's teacher, said, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle." That was 3,000 years ago. Not much has changed. As we gather today to celebrate this year's graduates, Plato's words remain a piece of simple yet profound advice. This school, your classmates and teachers, your family, and the entire Concord community, who literally surround you at this moment, are in effect the lines down the center of your road. When you drift, if you become lost, remember where you come from. Remember what you've been taught. Remember who you are. Remember the people who know you and care about you and expect special things from you. And remembering all that, continue on down your road. And in so doing, make the world a better place, make us better people, make us proud. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce the Concord High School Chamber Singers, directed by Bryn Coette, who will lead or sing the Star Spangled Banner. All please rise.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The Chamber Singers will now continue with Hail, Hail to Concord. And I invite any of the Concord High School alumni to please sing along. Anyone else who'd like to as well.
And senior choir students, please join us.
Good morning, everyone. When someone leaves your life, those exits are not made equal. Some are beautiful and poetic and satisfying. Others are abrupt and unfair. But most are just unremarkable, unintentional, clumsy. These words, written by Griffin McElroy, have been on my mind a lot lately. As humans, we want everything to make sense, to have meaning. We want to organize our lives into distinct chapters and to properly commemorate the closing or beginning of each one, with birthdays, weddings, funerals, anniversaries, going away parties, and graduations. But Hallmark has yet to make a card for the turning points that happen without fanfare, perhaps without us even realizing it. Like how one day in elementary school, there was an ordinary game of tag on the playground that also became the last you'd ever play. Or if you're me, it was the Music in Our Schools Month concert on March 11th, 2020, and everyone was wedged even closer than shoulder to shoulder to fit both the entire Concord High and Runlet Middle School choirs onto a set of risers, and you're only thinking about how this may be your claustrophobia-induced villain origin story, and also, wow, was I really that short in 7th grade? Because it is still unbeknownst to you that this would be the last time you'd get to sing with other people for over a year. I've been trying not to take these moments for granted anymore, but it usually is true when they say, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. Beginning today and through the coming weeks and months, we go our separate ways. The distance will be physical, with some of you heading off to different coasts and continents. There are also many that are staying near Concord, but either way, after today, we'll no longer have a reason for all of us to gather together, and the distance that creates is huge. It's a distance 4 years in the making. And it's hard to say goodbye to the ones you care for most, but perhaps harder still is the absence of goodbyes with so many, the ones I've been calling the friends who got away. The people who I've always thought are cool and kind and interesting, but our lives never lined up quite right for us to move beyond casual acquaintances and a passing smile in the halls. The people whose yearbooks I sign, "Good luck with everything, I wish we had talked more," with absolute sincerity, and the people who I didn't even get to talk to at all. It's a certain kind of regret to mourn the connections we never got to have. But I don't want any of us to live in regret. We've done what we can and made some memorable moments out of it, good along with bad. The rest is just a lesson for the future. So what I want to give you now, class of 2021, isn't quite a goodbye, since realistically, there are many of you I never even got to say hello to. Instead, I offer you a sincere happy trails of sorts, with the poem Blessing the Boats by Lucille Clifton. May the tide that is entering even now the lip of our understanding carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it, certain that it will love you back. May you open your eyes to water, water waving forever, and may you in your innocence sail through this to that. Thank you for everything, class of 2021. And if you fell asleep the moment I said poem, you can wake up now.
We'd like to invite now Keisha Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Barb, yes.
Hi there, I'm Barb. I'm here to introduce the memory chair. Quickly before I do this, one of your classmates, Skylar Howard, had a pretty rough seizure yesterday and is hospitalized and unable to be here. She's pretty upset about it. Her cap is decorated in her hospital room. She's watching us on the computer. So can we give her a nice congratulations? We love you, Skylar. So in getting ready for this graduation, class of 2021, lots of things have gone through my mind. And in planning to introduce the memory chair speaker, who is one of my very favorite people in the history of favorite people, I got thinking about the memory chair. And I graduated 40 years ago tomorrow, right here on this field. That's a long time. I have memory bleachers now over here. The memory chair is most well known in the military, and it makes perfect sense. There's an award ceremony in the military, and there's the empty chair for our brave soldiers that didn't make it home. And the memory chair is easy to deal with that way. We expect our soldiers, some will come home and some won't, and it's expected that we honor the ones that don't. So a memory chair at a high school graduation is a bit different. One of the best things about Concord High School is its willingness always in tough times to come together and do the right thing. It's been about 15 years since Concord's had the memory chair at its graduation. The first year we had it, it was for a girl named Sarah Gearing, who would have graduated in 2006 with her classmates. It was a very rough experience for those high school students at the time, and the way that they could honor their missing classmate was to have a chair for her. In the 15 years the memory chair has existed, it has not only been a home for people, it's been a home for a host of other things that are lost and missing as you have your big day. If we've learned anything from the pandemic, it's that speaking your mind on social media is the thing to do. For many years before now, when bad things happened, you kept them to yourself. If you had a tragedy, you put it inside and put a smile on your face and went along. You are all very lucky that you have the opportunity to share your struggles. And every memory chair speaker in the many years I've listened has told a unique and beautiful story. We had a young woman who suffered from mental illness talk about all her experiences that she didn't get to do sitting in the chair, things she missed because she was hospitalized. We had a young man talk about growing up without a father. The father he never met sat in that chair. The year that my daughter Gracie spoke, Molly was in her chair. Innocent, her classmate, talked about the hundreds of people that got her from a refugee camp to Memorial Field in Concord. Her chair was full of people she never knew and will never meet. It's a wonderful opportunity for everyone here to think about all of the things in your life, good and bad, that sit in your chair because they can't be here today. So, Keisha. It's no big surprise. I think the universe works in very unique ways. Skylar, who's not here today, was Molly's first best friend. They wrote crayon letters and mailed them to each other. Keisha was Molly's best friend when she died, and they spent a lot of time together. So Keisha goes to New York, I think at the end of this week, in a few days, to study, 4 days, to study musical theater. If you see Keisha in the hall, she may not say much. She's quiet. She might sit at the back of the room. But when she gets on a stage, buckle up. She's amazing. So with love in my heart, I wish that Molly was actually here, but knowing that she is, I happily present Keisha Johnson.
Hello. Today, I am proud to see my fellow students celebrate the end of one chapter in our lives and the start of a new one. I am overjoyed to see our loved ones surrounding us. Family and friends are here with us to support our success, and even with the limited number of tickets that were available, the energy today here is full of hope. Hope that we welcome the future with open arms and open hearts. And on this day, we leave one empty chair to represent and honor those who couldn't be here with us today. The Concord High Memory Chair holds a significance to us that cannot be described with words, for it represents a feeling that cannot be captured. The English language churns out countless amalgamations of letters and sounds to try to make a desperate attempt the sensation of loss. Grief, anguish, agony, sorrow, and misery are all words that we are all too familiar with. Although we use these words in our writings and documentations, no word will ever come close enough to capturing the pain of losing a loved one. The students and family members of the Concord School District have experienced this loss together. Our world lost two amazing souls, and the community was forever changed. In the spring of 2015, the class of 2021 lost Natalie Velez. And 1 year later, in 2016, we lost Molly Banzoff as well. As middle schoolers at the time, we struggled to understand the loss of life, and we learned that there are no guarantees. We realized that sometimes you just can't make things better. We lost our innocence, and gradually we learned ways to live with loss. Through this grief, we learned to appreciate each other more. We learned to carry on and honor their memory. Our memories of them remind us that we can persevere. I truly mean it when I say that the honor of sharing the time we had with these kind and loving girls is one of the greatest gifts we have been given in our lifetime. Whether that gift came from a god, the universe, or just by complete random coincidence, Natalie and Molly's impact on each of us was profound. What they shared, other than a love for the color pink, was the everlasting effect they brought into our lives. While our sense of loss remains as we look at the memory chair, we are able to remember their smiles, their unique personalities, and the good times we had with each of them. Today, we remember them and all that they mean to us. And we remember we are who we are in part because we knew them. Throughout the year of the pandemic and rising racial tensions, we have experienced loss at many different levels. At a smaller yet still significant level, we have experienced the loss of senior year traditions. There have been times we grieve the loss of everyday routines, and at a deeper level, we have experienced the loss of security, sometimes financial, and sometimes emotional or physical. And at the same time, we look forward to being seniors. The headlines making the news were heartbreaking. Both seeing and experiencing firsthand the unjust treatment of people of color across the country woke some of us to the suffering experienced by so many. Even in a pandemic, CHS students led hundreds of people to protest in the name of justice. Within the first 5 months of 2021, 371 civilians were shot fatally by police officers, with African Americans making up roughly 20% of those victims. For me, the memory chair is also here today for every life in this country ended abruptly by the forces of police brutality. This chair is here for Dante Wright, who made the mistake of driving with his girlfriend. It's here today for Stephen Clark, who made the mistake of holding a cell phone. This chair is here today for Breonna Taylor, who made the mistake of sleeping peacefully in her own bed. And this chair is here today for George Floyd, who was accused of using a counterfeit $20 bill. But more than anything, the biggest mistake that these victims made were being Black in America. The coronavirus pandemic also brought new strength to bigotry and hate crimes in this country against Asian American citizens as well. Linked to the harmful rhetoric blaming Asian Americans for the spread of COVID-19, discrimination has been painfully present. Over 3,800 discrimination cases were reported in the last year, ranging from refusal of service to being spat on to verbal harassment and physical assault. On March 16th, only 3 months and 4 days ago, there was a shooting in Atlanta, Georgia, that took the lives of 8, 6 of which were Asian women. And while we mourn the loss of every life, regardless of race, the murderer's motivations for the killing spree was clear. Because of the reinforced hatred of Asian American citizens in this country, this world lost Hyun Jong Grant, Xiao Jae Tan, Yao Ng Yu, Soon Cha Kim, Soon Chong Park, and Dao Yo Fang. So when many of us look at this chair, we also remember the victims of this country who unjustly lost their security, their loved ones, and their lives. Although this pain and suffering is in no way new to us immigrants and people of color, the newfound recognition and support from our communities are a sign from hope as well. And finally, my heart goes out to every student, parent, and friend before me who has lost someone. Whether from the pre-COVID world or more recently, the very fact that you are here in this moment is a testament to your undying strength and power to make it through the undescribable. We have peers today who have lost parents, siblings, and friends and family members. And at the end of today's ceremony, those of us privileged enough will meet with our loved ones to success together. But here we have peers who have lost that gift of being with their loved ones, a gift that we take for granted until it's too late. To everyone before me who has lost someone they wish could be here with them today, we stand with you in support. We see your pain through it all, and we admire you so much more than words can possibly describe. You hold an incredible resilience few will ever achieve in their lifetime, and here you are. Soon you will be turning your tassels and you will be graduating in the class of 2021, which is amazing. The memory chair is here to remind us of both the suffering of others and the losses we have experienced. The memory chair holds a personal significance for each of us. Each of us carries memories of loss, of happiness, of innocence lost, or of empathy found. As we leave Concord High School, our memories will help us focus on and be grateful for what is important. Our memories give us hope for an exciting future that I am certain will be filled with love, growth, and success. Thank you.
A warm welcome, bienvenido, amakuru, namaste, and jambo. And thank you all for being here today. I'm pretty sure our first grade teachers, or maybe our third grade teachers, mine happens to be sitting right over there, would ask us to give ourselves a pat on the back right now, so please go ahead and do that. Good. Yeah, no, I wasn't kidding. I opened my speech at our 8th grade commencement with a quote from the band Semisonic song, Closing Time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. The end we are celebrating today is incredibly meaningful to this class, especially with the year we have just had. On the afternoon of January 20th, 2021, I sat in my basement and watched as the 46th President of the United States was inaugurated into office. I was working on a semi-recognizable, some may argue unrecognizable self-portrait project for my Drawing and Painting 1 class as Ms. Amanda Gorman, the National Youth Poet Laureate and the inaugural poet, stepped to the podium to recite her poem, The Hill We Climb. As I listened to her words, I couldn't help but think of two things. One, being if we would have to analyze these words in my AP English Lit class. But more importantly, two, the amount of hills we have had to climb just to reach Memorial Field this morning. I went back to her words and am hoping to shed light on their relevance in our ceremony today. Ms. Gorman begins with, when day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We brave the belly of the beast, we've learned that quiet isn't always peace. Our time in the Concord School District has not always been pristine. We have faced immense loss, hardship, and struggle. And as Keisha just talked about, 2 of our classmates left us too early, and as I stand before you today, I as well cannot help but notice their absence from this ceremony. Quiet did not always signify peace. As we retreated to our homes last spring and the world seemed blank for months on end, we learned that the sights of our world did not reflect the current or future state of our nation, but still we climbed. Gorman continues, yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine. We are all works in progress, unfinished, unpolished, and continuously working to be the people we envision in the future. But what I see today is a group of students so tenacious and relentless in their pursuits that those people you wish to become in the future are rapidly growing within you today. I have total confidence and complete faith that the incomplete works in progress sitting here today are the entirely complete, whole change makers of tomorrow. We are all climbing in the pursuit of the future we see for ourselves. Gorman then writes, we do not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour. Learning to adapt to our new normal, and yes, I am so sick and tired of hearing that phrase, is something that no one saw coming. But yet this class had the drive, the dedication, and the persistence to be their own champion, to continue their pursuits in the face of destruction. Both of our ice hockey teams had the opportunity to win a state championship ripped away from them the day before their long-awaited game. Our baseball and softball teams had entire seasons taken away. The artists of CHS had to learn how to create from the confines of a bedroom, and last time I checked, most people don't have pottery wheels next to their nightstands. And those who found passion in their studies began relying on a screen and teachers from multiple miles away to continue the education that would serve as the foundation for all of their future endeavors. Amanda follows. But within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. Class of 2021, we authored our own chapters. The Concord High School boys ice hockey team came back to win the 2021 NHIAA state championship in a 7-0 game against Salem. And even more recently, our baseball team, they won too. 4-0 against Winnacunnet. Absolutely incredible. The exceptionally talented artists of Concord High found ways to not only hone their craft, but to push further and develop ways to create from home. And as someone with very little artistic ability who signed up for 2 art classes this year at Concord High, I can attest to the gifts some of these students have. To the academics seated before me on the fields, you, my friends, were also able to author your own chapter and display that learning is not contingent upon physically sitting in a classroom, but is rather rooted in one's ability and desire to learn beyond the boundaries a computer screen presents. Yet, the beauty in Concord High is not derived from the broad groups of students that go to school there, but is rather rooted in the cross-sectionality and diverse backgrounds, passions, and interests of every student that walks through the gym foyer doors. CHS is such a special place to have spent the last 4 years, where the academic can also be a dancer, and the team captain can have a love for chemistry. Ms. Gorman begins to close with, so while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. Class of 2021, we have seen the darkest of days, the most difficult of times, yet time and time again we have risen to the occasion. I feel an immense amount of pride to be graduating alongside each and every one of you today. In front of me, I see activists who have fought to ensure we do not march backwards. I see athletes who have the ability to alter the playing fields in their respective sports, and I see the brightest minds ready and willing to change this world. We continue to march forward and hope that what lies before us is brighter and more promising than what lay behind us. Ms. Amanda Gorman leaves us with 4 more lines. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and are unafraid. The new dawn balloons as we free it, for there is always light. If only we're brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. Concord High School Class of 2021, I leave you with 2 final thoughts. Always be brave enough to see the light, but more importantly, always be devoted to creating it. Thank you so much for allowing me the chance to speak today. Congratulations, and roll tide.
One moment. So my whole life, I've lived just up the street from Concord High. I got a sneak preview of the action early on, watching high schoolers walk down to the enormous ivy-scattered school. Freshmen, we now think look so young, were giants to me. And the seniors, well, the sight of facial hair, no matter how underdeveloped, meant you might as well have been middle-aged. I thought about this moment a lot this year, feeling waves of closure and motivation to move on, but at the same time, starting to look beyond my life on Warren Street. I'm still the same kindergartner sometimes, with a bright pink Ella Bean backpack and matching Crocs, standing at the foot of the big auditorium steps, not yet understanding how one school and 4 years would shape me, how one place would become a source of community that's taught me new ways to explore and use my voice, while also extend what I've learned across disciplines and activities beyond the classroom. I may not feel like one of those giants I've watched throughout my life. My sister got the height gene in the family. But I'm far from being that all-knowing, all-grown-up senior I thought I would be. But I've learned about my voice and how communities make progress a lot more than if I had succeeded as the naive 8th grader who never hesitated to announce, I don't need to go to high school, and that's thanks to all of you. To our families, however you may define them, from those gathered here today, those at home on the live stream, and those who couldn't be with us. Thank you for being by our sides these past 4 years as our #1 fans on the sidelines, sounding boards for another day of teenage drama, navigating internet access and changing jobs during the pandemic, to the cushions that catch us even when we've forgotten we need that extra support. We couldn't have gotten to this moment without you. To our educators, coaches, staffs, custodians, and everyone in between, from those we saw just last week to the ones we met on our very first day of school, I know teachers hear us grumble and moan, asking, how will we ever use this in real life? But now not only have I learned that Crash Course can teach me everything I need to know in 2 times speed, and then I can win the stock market game just by investing in Tesla, I also know an elementary school teacher telling you that they believe in you, a middle school teacher whose door is always open when the lunchroom seems just a little too daunting, or a high school teacher who goes the extra mile to make sure you still feel heard across the computer screen can make all the difference. Your dedication to us all has meant the world. To my classmates, maybe you just came to CHS this year, maybe freshman year was your first time in Concord, or maybe you stood next to me on my very first day of kindergarten. Regardless, I've been so inspired by the contributions and impacts individuals, groups, and our class as a whole has made over the past 4 years. We've tackled everyday challenges from late night studying, getting distracted in the library, and preparing ourselves for the long hike up to the 5th floor. We've taken on larger issues, from student groups organizing demands for our districts around racial equity, to being involved in community and school efforts to address food insecurities, gender, environmental, LGBTQIA+ rights, disability, and more. We've dealt with the big and small issues all during a global pandemic, and we've done it together. Before I step down from this podium so we can all get those diplomas we've worked so hard for and head towards our different futures, I feel it would be remiss if I didn't speak to one final thing. I was in the middle of writing this speech when I was asked if I had seen Paxton Smith speak at her Texas high school graduation. Many of you may now be familiar with it as well. I bring this up today in Concord, New Hampshire, not only because I stand with Paxton against Texas heartbeat bill and the numerous other legislation limiting the right to choose, including that in our own state, but because I think her courage to go against script and use her platform to advocate for something she believes in stands as an essential reminder for all of us that our voices make a difference when we stick up for what matters to us, no matter how big or small. Paxton reminded me that I've sought to use my position at Concord High to help amplify the voices of others and hopefully make some progress along the way. In that spirit, I feel it is necessary to highlight current state legislative issues here in New Hampshire. I stand with the Concord School Board in their opposition to the objectives of House Bill 544, which is now tacked on to the state budget, that could silence essential conversations in schools about gender identity, race, sex, religion, mental or physical disability, and national origin. Learning from diverse perspectives and addressing social inequity have only been strengths in our education and experience at CHS. We must amplify the conversations about systemic racism, implicit bias, sexism, and other forms of discrimination rather than silence them. I asked the New Hampshire legislature, when does the omission of our history and current reality make positive, forward-moving change? How are you looking out for students when you prevent us from talking about the issues that hurt us the most? Governor Sununu, how do you expect our state to grow as a vibrant, welcoming home if we move backwards, restricting the future voices and voters of New Hampshire? Being the future, as many refer to us as now, can feel like a new, daunting label we don't quite know how to navigate. I told you before that I feel that I am far from being that all-knowing, all-grown-up senior I thought I would be. But I've learned a lot from my wise educators and passionate peers. You've taught me, families, teachers, and students alike, that as we cross this milestone off the list and look to the many that lay ahead, it is essential that we aren't complacent in systems and standards that hinder the equity we and others around us deserve. We must disrupt the comfort of our biases, take the time to educate ourselves, use our privilege to advocate for others, stand with people that will work with you to make progress rather than being performative, and recognize that this process is messy, takes time, and is ongoing. Our work has and always will extend beyond the classroom. Let's be the change we want to see in our community. Thank you all, and good luck.
Good morning, class of 21. Congratulations. Today, it's my honor to represent the school board in this graduation ceremony, but I'm equally proud, well, quite honestly, and sorry, board members, I am more proud to be the parent of a member of the class of 21. I've been fortunate to have been on the board over the past 4 years and to get to spend a lot of time in Concord High School. Maybe not so much this past year, but all the other years. And I'm very fortunate as a parent to know so many of you individuals. I'd like to speak today briefly, and not everybody cheered it briefly, but I'll do my best, about a special attribute of this class. Mr. Reardon talked about it all year long. As a matter of fact, he even mentioned it a little earlier this morning. Even last week, as the board was sitting around killing time before we started one of our meetings, one of the other parents and board members, someone who knows the members of this class very well, mentioned it right out of the blue, not knowing that I was going to speak about it today. As a matter of fact, almost every person who has come in contact with this class has commented to me about it. Although it's hard to describe in a single word, I think it's best described as your tremendous capacity for kindness, compassion, empathy, and caring. You consistently take care of each other and those around you. And it is so abundant and so ubiquitous in this class that I don't even think you realize just how remarkable a trait that is. You, over the last 4 years, you have always paused whatever you're doing to help another member of your class. Whether it's in the late night study sessions and FaceTime, making sure that everyone understood the homework and that no one was left behind. Whether it was on the ice and on the court or in the field, completely out of breath, but always wearing a mask so that your teammates could compete and have a full season. When you consoled and comfort each other through trying times and loss, in organizing and marching from this very park so that your fellow classmates could be treated with equity and justice, even in organizing the prom and this ceremony today, and insisting to the school board that it was going to be with all of your classmates together and that you wouldn't settle for anything less. When any member of this class is alone or needs a helping hand, another member of this class always reaches out. Kindness, compassion, empathy, and caring. It's truly a remarkable strength, and I hope all of you recognize it. Today, you go forth on your individual paths into the future, and I hope, and it is my fervent hope, that each of you brings this strength along with you and builds upon it. Because like any strength, It will weaken and atrophy if it's not regularly exercised. And if you do bring it with you, you will find that your fellow students, your fellow servicemen and women, coworkers, and those in your community will gravitate to you and actually seek you out. For kindness, compassion, empathy, and caring are the very foundation of leadership. It's an integral part of every great leader. And I know this class will have more than its fair share of great leaders. I can't wait for you to take your place in the world and look forward to the leadership and contribution that the class of 21 will bring. Do not ever underestimate yourselves, your abilities, and the contribution you can make to the world. In a world where self-interest and single-minded leadership seems to predominate, your compassion, your understanding, and your caring is needed now more than ever. You can and you will make a difference. And finally, if your path happens to bring you back to Concord, I hope you will bring your leadership, your compassion, your kindness, your empathy, and your caring to the Concord community and to our school district as well, because we need it as well. Now, I tried to be brief, but let's get to the real reason why I'm here, for me to fulfill my duty today. Marshals, will you please have the members of the class of 2021 rise? Mr. Reardon and Ms. Murphy, will you join me in the podium? Principal Reardon, Superintendent Murphy, can you attest that each of the students standing before me have completed their course of study and have met all the requirements and conditions to graduate from Concord High School and receive their diplomas?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Then as president, go ahead. Then as president, and on behalf of the Concord Board of Education and in accordance with the requirements set forth by the Department of Education of the State of New Hampshire, I confer upon the students standing before me on this day, June 19th, 2021, the distinction of graduate of Concord High School and declare them eligible to receive their diplomas, recognizing them as such. Well done, graduates. Marshals, will you please have the Concord High School graduates of 2021 take their seats? Thank you.
Are we ready? Nyansa Nepal. Aiden Paul Gleason. Akriti Batarai. Eaton Weatherby Tarbell IV. Neil August Shea. Abbas Abdul Rahman. Alexis Catherine Adams. Emily Carr Allfeld, excuse me. That's my first demerit. William Roscoe Algren. Benin Omar Al-Gadbawi. Dylan Cornell Alberg. Wyatt Stephen Anderson. Hunter Gregory Anderson. Macy Claire Anderson. Olivia Josephine Anderson. David Anthony Andrusakis. Mia Ashley Apachel. Maria Nicole Armaganian. Shaylee Rose Artis. Claudia Lee Dion Bahininwa. Did I get it? Yes. Madison Elizabeth Bailey. Faleke Esther Bahininwa. Jack George Edmund Bannister. Elijah James Barnes. David Christopher Bean. Nathan Gilbert Bengston. Julia Catherine Benson. Emma Claire Best. Simon Begiramana. James Hunter Bilodeau. Carly Patricia Blake. Joshua Peter Blanchard. Casey Jane Blodgett. Joshua Michael Bly. Byron James Bobrow. Olivia Emily Bovair. Patience Boley. Sierra Lynn Boots. Sawadi Bora. Aiden Daniel Boucher. Ty Austin Berg. Benjamin Thomas Burgo. Paul Michael Burgo. Eben Richard Bragg. Colin Andrew Brayshaw. Evelyn Zara Jade Bryce. Logan Frederick Brides. Jacob Ryan Brochu. Bailey Brown. Knox Ward Brown. Michaela Lynn Brown. Shannon Elise Brown. Sydney Grace Bruley. Paul Ralph Buckles, Jr. Emma Rose Burbank. Peter Duncan Cameron. Emily Esperanza Carter. Kala Rosemarie Chen. Allison Grace Childs. Sonia Fong Chin. Nicholas Trofam Chumak. Samuel Abel Chumak.
Thanks. The nightmare is finally over. Nice work, Sam.
Ryan James Chesluck. Nolan Robert Cloutier. Amy Juliana Cohen. Aiden O'Neill Collins. Brandon Leo Camari. Quinn Randall Connor. Dylan Christopher Cooper. Evelyn Rose Cooper. Keelan Woodman Coronati. Thomas Paul Cremoni in absentia. Cameron Thomas Coutrere. Spencer Michael Daniels. Anju Darji. Manika Darji. Pramika Darji. Shimron Darji. Hannah Bobby Day. Demetrius Dellis. Cameron John Detweller. John Disco III. Stephanie Ann Dodson. Lindsay Jean Doherty. Noah Christopher Drew. Zachary Michael Drew. Gabriella Louise Duana. Trayvon Alexander Duncan. Priscilla Lorraine Durst. Lauren Elizabeth Dusevich. Joanna Celeste Dustin. Lily Ava Igonis Musamichi. Hope Ilonga. Amir M. Keach. Carmelito Patrick Escalera. Emma Claire Ferguson. Alistair Andrew Rowan Ferrier. Kevin Miller Ferry. Lily Catherine Fifield. Nathan Albert Firth. Baby Fiston. Alexis M. Flynn. Tessa Benson Foley. Lorelei Sylvia Ford. Rose Forner. Trey Evan Fortier in absentia. Alex Jason Forward. Aiden Samuel Foxmoral. Damian Lane Franck. Sophia Anange Funet. Anna Rebecca Gaby. Nicholas Christopher Galatis. Andrew Roland Gallion in absentia. Ruby Eileen Garcia. Catherine Rose Gaudette. Jaylee Autumn Janest. Haley Natalia Gilligan. Charlotte Olivia Goebel. Madeline Goodman. Destiny Goodsell. Taylor Adrian Green. Olivia Christine Groth. Sophia Mary Liu Gouet. Diego Ezekiel Guevara. Brennan James Gurney. Ella Olivia Gustafson. Abigail Nicole Guyette. Emma Catherine Hall. Iris Catherine Hall. Jacob Ryan Halleck. Annalise Sage Hanwright. Michaela Marie Harasco. Tikante Harmon. Danielle Elizabeth Harris. Samuel Gilbert Hartung. Veronique Tova Heydaki. Brady John Haywood Minery. Carter James Haywood Minery. Stephen Sullivan Helm. Tamaz Adam Hill. Grace Elaine Hillier. Riley Hoolidge. Madison Philibot Howard. Skylar Taylor Howard in absentia. Jessica Ann Hoyt. Emily Louise Hughes. Samuel Park Hughes. Ezekiel Joseph Ignacio. Annika Mahoney Ingersoll. Erica Mahoney Ingersoll. Divine Iracunda. Brigitte Irabagiza. Regis Irumva. Ahmed Onward Ismail. Joshua M. Ives in absentia. Austin Jameson. Ryan Brooke Jelly in absentia. Daniel Brewer Jepson.
Congratulations, Dan. Well done.
Eliza Violet Johnson.
Congratulations, Eliza. Well done.
Keisha Catherine Johnson.
Congratulations, Keisha. Well done.
Daisha Elise Joyner.
Congratulations, Daisha.
Guy Kabadi.
Congratulations, Guy. Well done.
Yvette Kirikapunda. Raul Kahura.
Congratulations, Raul. Well done.
Ryan Patrick Castle.
Congratulations, Ryan. Well done.
Jasmine Kuer.
Congratulations, Jasmine. Well done.
Braden Francis Kearns.
Congratulations, Brayden. Well done.
Jalen Elizabeth Kellerer.
Congratulations, Jalen. Well done.
Aaron Nicole Kelly.
Congratulations, Aaron. Well done.
Jacob Robert Keneally.
Congratulations, Jacob. Well done.
Shay Patrick Kettner in absentia. Sydney Marguerite Kilgore.
Congratulations, Sydney. Well done.
Spencer McCracken Knowlton in absentia. Matthew A. Kraus.
Congratulations, Matthew. Well done.
Tony Joseph Kurtz.
Congratulations, Tony. Well done.
David Curtis LaBombard. Sorry, David.
Congratulations, David. Well done.
Jacob Matthew Lahr.
Congratulations, Jacob. Well done.
Trey Michael LaMarche.
Congratulations, Trey. Well done.
Connor Ryan Lamontagne.
Congratulations, Connor. Well done.
Hayden Charles Lamoureux.
Congratulations, Aiden. Well done.
Olivia Blackburn Lamper.
Congratulations, Olivia. Well done.
Madison Elizabeth Landers.
Congratulations,
Ashley Christine Langell. Jackson Benjamin Bram Gerard LaSalle. John Lash. Andrew Silas Lawpaw. Carson Ryan LeBlanc in absentia. Holly Lynn Alice LeBlanc.
Congratulations, Holly. Well done.
Xander Philip Lee.
Congratulations, Xander. Well done.
Joanna Marie LeMahieu.
Congratulations, Joanna.
Jocelyn Adele Mercedes Lemieux.
Congratulations, Jocelyn. Well done.
Jordan M. Lengel.
Congratulations, Jordan. Well done.
Grace Elizabeth Leonard.
Congratulations, Grace. Well done.
Cooper John Lepard.
Congratulations, Cooper. Well done.
Caitlin Ann Levesque.
Congratulations, Caitlin. Well done.
Charles Philip Levine.
Congratulations, Charles. Well done.
Kira Liebel. Miles Garrett Liptak.
Congratulations, Miles. Well done.
Jocelyn Nancy Latalian in absentia. Anna Elizabeth Lombardi. Alyssa April Long. Baruani Lucus. Sushmita Magar. Charles McLean McKee.
Congratulations, Charlie. Well done.
Chance Menino. Dominic Albert Mangoni. Evan Michael Marcus.
Congratulations, Evan. Well done.
Elizabeth Mary Marino. Brenna Marie Marquis.
Congratulations, Brenna.
Amber Lynn Marsh. Destiny Judith Martin. Nicholas Martin. Stephen Douglas Martin.
Congratulations, Stephen. Well done.
Goretti Masangishu. John Clement Mazgalis.
Congratulations, John. Well done.
Kevin Riley McDonough.
Congratulations, Kevin. Well done.
Brendan William Fulton McLaren.
Congratulations, Brandon.
Gavin Francis McWeeny in absentia. Josiah Maurice Meade Dudley in absentia. Samuel Quinton Merrill.
Congratulations.
Kaiten Lucia Minyosa Dow.
Congratulations, Kate.
Emily Patricia Michelson.
Congratulations, Emily. Well done.
Madison Lynn Miles.
Congratulations, Madison. Well done.
Carolyn Sharon Miller.
Congratulations, Carolyn. Well done.
Emily Elizabeth Mitchell. Nika Catherine Mitchell. Minta Mongar. Maya Marie Marino. Emily Grace Mortimer. Michael Seward Moulton. Frank Mucho. Nathaniel Patrick Muller. D.R. Munim. Grace Matoni. Emma Nakuchi. Zoe Ella Nault. Samuel Thomas Nickel. Elijah Sengeumva. Anj Nayasuku. Taylor Patricia Oakland. Colin Robert O'Brien. Tabitha Lee O'Brien. Ryan William Olivero. Morgan Terry Orcutt. Aaliyah Pacheco. Tenny Margaret Parkinson. Mary Therese Parsons. Rachel Berlin Pauley. Gialyn Pelly in absentia. Ethan Michael Perry. Cassidy Vera Phillips. Gabriela Barbosa Pimentel. Christian Matt Plagenza. Grace Catherine Poirier. Rafe McGowan Pollock. Nick Tong Alria Palomane. Jarrett Michael Pooler. Aiden Riley Pope. Leica Nath Pudyel. Andrew Brian Poulin. Alexis Danielle Pratt. Gregory Allen Prince Ratliff.
Congratulations, Greg. Well done.
Scott Robert Prospert.
Congratulations, Scott. Well done.
Sarah Faith Prouty.
Congratulations, Sarah. Well done.
Alexandre Catherine Quinn. Patrick Michael Quist.
Congratulations, Patrick. Well done.
Siraj Rai.
Congratulations, Siraj.
Tanner Joseph Reale. Devin James Reed. Cooper Thomas Reese. Brady Alexander Rice. Alice White Richards. Nicholas James Richards. Lillian Carol Reenstra. Annabelle Elizabeth Riley. Patrick Robert Riley. Colin James Roberts. Charles Davis Rochette. Alice Elizabeth Rosenberg. Aaron Joseph Russell. Jonathan Halsey Ryder Clark. Emily Susan Salmonfeld. Jordan Santana in absentia. Alana Lisette Santos in absentia. James Corey Surrett, Jr. John Winthrop Sargent III. Peter Joseph Sargent. Thomas Patrick Sargent. Emanuela Namari Saru. Jaden Jared Sales. Nathan Carter Schmitz. Emma Servadio in absentia. Luciana Sharma. Pradeep Sharma. Annalise Catherine Shumsky. Christopher Manuel Silva. Alexis K. Simard. Amaya Jasmine Marcel Simmons. Ella Yoon Singer in absentia. Garrett Thomas Sisson. Jack William Smith. Nathaniel Robert Smith. Quinn Alexander Smith. Jenna Lynn Solaris.
Congratulations, Jenna. Well done.
Samantha Elizabeth Spalding.
Congratulations, Samantha. Well done.
Layla Catherine Spires.
Congratulations, Layla. Well done.
Michael Richard Splendor.
Congratulations, Michael. Well done.
Sarah Grant Spoonenberg.
Congratulations, Layla. Well done.
Chelsea Jean St. Peter.
Congratulations, Chelsea. Well done.
Rochelle Kyle Steed. Is it Kylie? Amanda Jean Stewart.
Congratulations, Amanda. Well done.
Lily Karina Stojkovic.
Congratulations, Lily. Well done.
Joseph Henry Streeter.
Congratulations, Joe. Well done.
Graham Lawrence Sundstrom.
Congratulations, Graham. Well done.
Tipen Tamong.
Congratulations, well done.
Derek Jordan Taylor.
Congratulations, Derek. Well done.
Christopher Juan Thornton Lopez.
Congratulations, Christopher. Well done.
Jacob Allen Titeman.
Congratulations, Jacob. Well done.
Oh, say it again? Tiedemann. Sorry, Jacob. Diren Timsina. Evelyn Antoinette Tirado.
Well done.
Madison Lynn Tobin. In abstentia. Amalia Milena Tomas.
Congratulations, Amalia. Well done.
Rudia Barakawi Musa Tutu.
Congratulations, Rudia. Well done.
Abigail Marie Townsend.
Congratulations, Abigail. Well done.
Alexander Daniel Turan.
Anna, congratulations. Well done.
Kamumba Augustine Twite.
Congratulations.
Shannon Michael Terrell.
Congratulations, Shannon. Well done.
Brendan Paul Huber.
Congratulations, Brennan. Well done.
Brianna Rain Valley.
Congratulations. Well done.
Good job. Good job. Kurt Nelson Van Fleet.
Congratulations, Kurt. Well done.
Karina Faith Velez Rourke.
Congratulations, Karina. Well done.
Elizabeth Catherine Vicknair.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Well done.
Jonah Michael Wachter.
Congratulations, Jonah. Well done.
Mary Rose Wanjiro Wanena.
Congratulations, Mary Rose. Well done.
Alexander Sebastian Watkins.
Congratulations, Alexander. Well done.
Caitlin Hirschfield Watt.
Well done.
Gage Benjamin Watts.
Congratulations, Gage. Well done.
Alexandra Francis Weeks.
Congratulations, Alexander. Well done.
Emily Rose Weld.
Congratulations, Emily. Well done.
Jessica Becky White.
Congratulations, Jessica. Well done.
Hannah Marie Willette.
Congratulations, Anna Marie. Well done.
Jared Joseph Willett. Jessica Louise Willie. Ulana Iman Williams. Sierra Renee Wilson. Flynn William Winsel. Kristen Nicole Womack. Devin Michael Wood. Emma Kate Wright. Tanner Kelly Wright in absentia. Oh, sorry. He is here. Tyler Ivan Wright. Autumn Lillian Wyatt. Allison Maureen Yansky. Kaylin Patricia Zanes. And Garrett James Zuki in absentia.
Thank you, and thank you for bearing with me through this speech. I know it's extremely hot out, and we will get through this. Okay, so today, I'm remembering my 5th grade class and when we watched our first set of baby ducks hatch. A group of us, hunched over their nest, waited for the crack on their egg to inch itself open. After what felt like an eternity, their little heads finally popped out, and they seemed clueless, but they were finally exposed to the world, or at least the comfort of their incubated homes. As a class, our main goal was to make sure that these ducks survived, that they made it to tomorrow and the day after that, until they were able to be released back into the wild, which at that time was our beloved Whites Park. As they grew up, we saw them learn how to live in an environment that was built solely to keep them safe. For some reason, my mind has drawn a parallel to these birds departing their home in Miss Harrison's classroom and to us leaving Concord High School. We made it to this day, and just like those ducks, we've acquired some essential survival skills, even within our sheltered community. We have classmates on the track and cross-country teams who can run decently fast to escape any dangers, and Zeke has some cool Heelys to give him an extra edge on a speedy getaway. Yeah, that deserves a round of applause. The movie chat hosts have developed some serious debate skills that can allow them to worm their way through some tough situations. Some of us can drive, and others even mastered the art of parallel parking, and Miss Vashaw's class prepared for the realities of feeding themselves. To be honest, we have gone above and beyond in the survival department. Evacuating during a real-life trash can fire and surviving a global pandemic are nothing short of miraculous. But after our ducklings grew up, we had new hopes for them outside of making it to tomorrow. We wanted them to succeed, to fly, just like many of the adults here who want the same for us. We have been served the line, "We are the future," and I'm sure we will hear it again today. But how do we get to the point where we transform into someone who is going to do more than just survive, who is going to succeed? Although we have amazing intellectuals, artists, and athletes, I don't think that's what we bring to the table when it comes to shaping the future. The most unique thing I have noticed in our grade is a sense of authentic curiosity, a desire to learn about what we don't know, to submerge ourselves in uncomfortable situations, to mess up and to get better, a consistent cycle of trial and error, a string of adaptations that has led to constant growth and progress. I believe this, inherently, will bring forward our so-called better future. Our brains are like those ducklings right now, open to making so many amazing connections and grandiose mistakes. We have been given every tool we need to survive. But in order to do more, in order to fly, we have to embrace the unknown and allow for failure. Because in 10 years, I'd rather remember you as a person who let themselves be a duckling. As was said by Shel Silverstein, draw a crazy picture, write a nutty poem, sing a mumble-gumble song, whistle through your comb, do a loony-goony dance, cross the kitchen floor, put something silly in the world that ain't been there before. I believe that honoring these words will create a group of people who can carve out lives filled with success, because we won't have just survived, we will have lived. Be stupid, but cautious. Be clumsy, but resilient. And be nervous, but excited. So all I have left to say is, good luck, class of 2021. It'll be one hell of a wave to ride. Okay, so if you would all stand right now and join me as we start to bring this ceremony to a close. Grab hold of your tassel and move it to the other side. This chapter of our lives is officially closed. 1, 2, 3!
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Thank you all for letting me join you up here. Giving me my honor.